Ms. Ling.
Deputy Speaker, sir, I've spoken on the importance of CareShield Life in 2018. Today, I renew my support for it, and I'm glad that this bill does not focus solely on CareShield Life, but long-term care as well. CareShield Life has to be viewed within the frame of Singapore's long-term care plan. Sir, we all know that Singapore has an aging population, and we need to be ready for it. But how ready are we, really? The government invested significant amount of resource and effort to build up our system, policies and infrastructure to cope with the needs of a rapidly aging population, strengthening them as we progress. Government spending has also increased by multiple folds. Public healthcare expenditure, for instance, more than doubled in the past 6 years and will continue to increase. How we can sustain this is serious business. Aging is a multifaceted issue covering physical, financial, psychological, and social aspects of our lives. Given the growing silver population and longer lifespan, it is imperative that we have in place a comprehensive and effective long-term care system for Singaporeans. In fact, we need a good ecosystem to do so. The government cannot monopolize the care for our seniors. We will need community partners and Singaporeans too to address the challenges and needs of an aging Singapore successfully. We will also need to plan early and act preemptively. Some of the challenges faced in our old age may have their roots in our younger days. Likewise, what we do right in our youth can also offer ourselves better protection when we become old. One such instance is ensuring ourselves against calamities such as severe disabilities in our old age. Today, 1 in 2 healthy Singapore residents aged 65 could become severely disabled in their lifetime. Not that rare after all. The number of severely disabled Singapore residents aged 65 and above is expected to increase from 29,000 in 2014 to 69,000 in 2030, more than double. Severe disabilities can also be long drawn. The median duration for which Singapore residents remain in severe disability is about 4 years. Yet, about 3 in 10 can remain in severe disability for a decade or more. These are not insignificant numbers, especially since severe disabilities can seriously strain one's psychological, physical, and financial well-being. Yet, not everyone is protected. Therefore, similar to the philosophy underpinning MediShield Life, it is important that we consider and support CareShield Life. Through a public insurance such as CareShield Life, we pool our risks and money to help fellow Singaporeans in need sustainably. We are a society that believes in compassion and inclusivity. Schemes like CareShield Life translate such beliefs into real actions. Despite the clear imperative for CareShield Life, it is nonetheless a very complex scheme to understand, even for younger Singaporeans. Different age groups start in different years, and even within the same cohort, there can be subgroups. For example, there are those who enroll in CareShield Life and those who remain in ElderShield. If one thought MediShield Life was complex, CareShield Life topped it. Hence, effective communications to address the why and how are critical to a successful implementation of CareShield Life. The first part, I would like to talk about the why, persuading the young. From 2020, all Singaporeans born in 1980 or after will automatically be enrolled into CareShield Life, regardless of pre-existing conditions or disabilities. Despite the high probability, our young today question the need for the scheme to be made mandatory for all. This is understandably so. Many who are still in the prime of health do not anticipate severe disabilities when they age. Many also do not see the urgency in planning for the possibility of age-related disabilities at this point. Hence, they want to preserve their autonomy in choosing whether and when to enroll themselves in a universal public insurance scheme. Furthermore, the sense of importance for risk pooling is diminished when they observe that the total claim of $100 million is only a small fraction of the total premium collection of $2.6 billion as at end 2015. What happens to the huge sum of money remaining in the pool, they ask? Who pockets the rest? The more cynical amongst them may also ask. To be fair, these concerns were answered before, but such concerns remain today. Perhaps people missed it, and the message bears repeating. But I think it is also because there are too few stories of success in the case of ElderShield and too many stories of difficult claims that breed skepticism. Hopefully, with CareShield Life to be managed fully by the government, Singaporeans' confidence in the scheme will be boosted. Interesting to note, private life insurance hardly needs persuasion, despite events qualifying for claims being relatively rare. As at 2018, life insurance sales grew at 7%. Yet, the total claim amount due to death and disabilities in 2018 was about 0.1% of the total sum insured. There is a strong awareness of the need for life insurance, and credit goes to the army of insurance agents who actively educate the population on the ground face to face. A point worth pondering. Next, talking about supporting women. Women policy holders are expected to pay a higher premium than men. This stands out starkly. The main reason articulated was that women have a longer lifespan on average and risks being disabled for a longer period of time. Arguably, however, the idea of a public insurance plan is to pool risks and resources to help one another. Thus, should women not be allowed to pay the same amount of premium as the men in their respective cohort? Moreover, women tend to lose out to men in earnings and savings, in part due to them exiting from the workforce early to care for their families. Many sacrifice their prime years to stay home and care for their loved ones. The years away from work mean they may have little or significantly less savings in their Medisave. These women may also not come from well-to-do families who have little to contribute to their Medisave even if they wish to. There is also no guarantee that their spouse or children, if they have any, will pay for the extra premiums. How then can we ensure fairness and equity in the system? For women who may have lost out to their male peers at work or who have made financial sacrifices for their families, what help can they look to receive? Could older and lower income women receive more premium rebates so that they don't lose out even more? Next, I would like to talk about communicating the how. Customer experience. CareShield Life will see different years of commencement and impact on different age groups. Premium payments also differ across age groups and possibly within cohorts. These different ways of slicing ensure as many people are covered as possible. But it can be highly confusing, and soliciting buy-in will also be much harder. So, again, well-planned and targeted communications are imperative to a successful implementation. If the scheme cannot be simplified, the claim experience must certainly be simplified, and it must not disappoint. A straightforward claim process comprising a one-stop solution without the need to approach different agencies for different documents will be useful and avoid the accusation of CareShield Life being a sinister plan that takes money from the people without the sincerity of giving back when needed. More importantly, when a person is already severely disabled, he or she cannot withstand complex processes. Overall, we could benefit from communicating how long-term care works in Singapore better and clearer. This bill specifically covers the establishment of the Long-Term Care Support Fund. This is useful, but we know long-term care is more than just a fund. As we improve the long-term care system over the years, we have been making announcements in piecemeal fashion. This is understandable as we communicate whenever a new initiative becomes available. But the general public may not remember every initiative and consciously piece everything together. Therefore, may I humbly suggest the government consider, firstly, consistently educating and publicizing how we deal with aging in Singapore, specifically the principles and mechanics of our long-term care system. This could be done in schools as part of national education, through common touch points in the course of our lives, and of course, the usual mass media. Second, high-touch method of engaging target groups when implementing and communicating complex schemes such as CareShield Life. For example, akin to how insurance agents make complex insurance schemes easy to understand, could there be a network of trained policy agents who would reach out to Singaporeans at the workplace or at home to explain complex schemes to them? Even the most well-meaning policies can fail if we fail to help Singaporeans understand and solicit their support. Finally, Discussions so far focus on passively dealing with the challenges of old age and severe disabilities. We also explore prevention and ways to minimize the risk. In a 2015 report by the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, it stated that there is a growing body of research literature underscoring the importance of fostering good health and habits in life to prevent or postpone the onset of morbidity at older ages. This should apply to age-related disabilities as well. Therefore, we must continue our efforts in encouraging healthier lifestyles and to do so from young. Healthy outcomes are not just important from a financial burden perspective, but because we love life. And therefore, for those who have proven to engage in healthy activities and maintain good health past, say, 60 years old, could their premiums be reduced, or could rebates be given as a way of encouragement to reinforce this very positive behavior? Next, may I please continue in Mandarin? 议长先生，我们曾经于2014年在国会里激烈的辩论并通过了终身健保。当时国会通过这项健康医疗保险，是希望全民受保，让所有国人得到最基本的保障。除了政府的津贴和我们自己的保健储蓄，终身健保有助我们应付无法预测的风险。它主要是一人有难，大家平摊，将大家的钱摊在一起，让有需要的人可以应付庞大的医药费，大家机会平等。原则和理论上，终身互保和终身健保是一样的。眼看当下我们人口迅速老化，家庭人数也日渐缩小，国人互相扶持、同舟共济是在所难免的。更何况，我国数据显示，新加坡国人2人当中便有1人在65岁以后患上重度残障，这是一个很高的几率。因此，终身健保及终身互保的实施，其实是为别人和为自己铺好后路。终身互保的重要性，相信通过去年以及今年的辩论，大家都了然于心。依我之见，终身互保的成功实施，关键在于政府如何把宣导工作做好，如何针对性地解释终身互保的作用，以及为不同群体解答疑问。终身健保推出的时候，许多人已经认为这个政策复杂难懂，但其实终身互保更胜一筹。所以政策的宣导必须做好，不然不明白就会造成不支持，不支持就可能会造成怨怼。因此，我希望政府在推行终身互保的当儿，也要重视宣传以及和人民的真心交流和沟通。宣传以及与人民的沟通不能止于终身互保单一政策，必须以新加坡的长期护理体系作为大框架，让国人不论老少了解我国照顾年长国人的理念及方法。对此，我有一些拙见在此提出。第一，政府可考虑通过各种大众渠道，广泛宣导有关我国长期护理体系的理念及操作。政府也可考虑通过学校的国民教育，或以无需考试、比较轻松的方式，让国人从年轻的时候便了解我国如何应对老龄化的挑战，及如何给予年长者妥善照顾，也为自己的将来做好准备。第二，政府可考虑建立熟悉公共政策的志工网络，让他们深入职场与社区，为国人解说复杂难懂的政策。如此近距离、深入的讲解，相信有助国人了解重要但不一定受欢迎的政策。另外，扪心自问，政府在照顾我们的老人、我们的年长者这方面的努力用心良苦，我们大家也是有目共睹。在这许多年间，政府推出了许多护老方面的计划和项目，其中就包括我们今天所要讨论的这个终身互保。当然，在这之前，今年早前呢，我们也推出了这个每个月200元的看护者津贴。在更之前呢，建国一代配套里面也包括了建国一代残障人士援助计划，而那也是每个月100元。这种种的津贴和援助配套，就是针对如何更完善 的照顾我们的乐龄人士，如何的给予他们长期的护理。所以在这里呢，我其实也很好奇，早前尊敬的这个陈硕茂议员，他就提到，他说他认为这个终身护保可能在照顾我们的老人当中，可能还不够足够。这600元在这个支付一个重度残障的这个乐龄人士这一方面呢，可能开销只是概括的一部分。那我很想向这位陈议员了解，那我们政府在哪一些方面可能可以做得更好？在宏观的这个角度来讲，也看到我们眼下有那么多的不同的配套和津贴，我们可能在哪一些方面可以改善？我想从这个尊敬的陈议员这边呢多了解一下。其实不单只是陈议员，我们在这个国会里面呢都有很多不同的一些建议提出来，希望政府可以考量。当然，在提出这些方案或者是建议的当儿，我们大家可能心里也会想到，其实羊毛出在羊身上。我们每个人所提出的要求，都是需要政府拨出宝贵的资源去处理、去帮助的。那政府也需要权衡这各方的利益，做出取舍，拟定最优惠的这个政策来帮助我们的国人。那我觉得这个政府在这方面所做出的这个努力呢，其实非常不简单。最后呢，我们目前在看待长期护理及老龄课题的时候，其实也不免有些被动。我认为我们也应该采取主动的措施，鼓励国人从年轻的时候便注意饮食，强身健体，为晚年打下良好的健康基础，真正的享清福。为鼓励国人注重健康，政府是否能，比如效仿私人保险公司，考虑为积极运动与60岁后仍保持良好健康的国人，降低终身护保的保费或提供回扣。So let me please conclude in English. Sir, there is a real need for Singapore to get ready for the consequences of an aging population. My sincere hope is that we will all enjoy good health, lead a full and fulfilling life, and rather than having to spend on our care needs, are able to spend on things that we enjoy. But we can never be sure of what will happen to us in the years to come. It would be too late if we only start to worry or find ways to finance our care needs later in life when our family obligations intensify, or worse, when we suffer disabilities. It is also unsustainable and unfortunate if we have to burden future generations, which is, by the way, shrinking because of our aging population, to fund our own care needs. Very importantly, CareShield Life provides better long-term care and protection for all Singaporeans. This does not mean that the government can cut back its support. This does not exonerate individuals from exercising personal responsibility. But this does enable us to pool our risks and help our fellow countrymen through times of need. In a society that expounds the importance of compassion and inclusion, all of us will need to contribute in ways big or small, in one way or other. With that, I support the bill. Thank you.